Association, Frederick Ingram!
Thank you so much. Y'all had a good time? Woo! I didn't hear you. Did y'all have a good time?
Yeah!
Listen, I want to thank a few people. First of all, I want to thank our signers and our friends from the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind. Thank you, Brent. For those who don't know, the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind, they are our members. They are our colleagues. I want to also recognize our brothers and sisters in Puerto Rico who just had a really serious earthquake. A series of earthquakes. And I want to recognize our brothers in the southeastern corner of our country because they had a series of tornadoes and bad weather. So I want you all to think about the folks that are in their public schools. They're going through some traumatic experiences, and so we wanted to lift that up and recognize that. Let's give them a big round of applause. While we were here today, the House and the Senate Education Committees met to discuss you. They were discussing vouchers. They were discussing charters. They were discussing the governor's pay plan today. We are not keeping a secret anymore. We are letting the country, the state, and more importantly, your community know that we are doing the best job we can under duress. We're being squeezed by administrators who believe in CYA because of a broken accountability system and a testing system that is not right. We're being squeezed by class sizes that are busting at the seams in some counties. We're being squeezed by some buildings that are dilapidated and in need of repair. We're being squeezed because we don't have the proper pay to ensure that we can take care of our own families. And so you have a challenge today. Your job is to be an informant to your community. Your job is to know that tomorrow the governor of this state, Ron DeSantis, will bring forth what's called the State of the State address. He will be talking about you. He better. Because if he doesn't, that means that he has ignored thousands of you who have made a sacrifice to be here today. This is not a vacation. This is not something we want to do. This is not something that should be happening if they were doing the right thing. We came here because we have the freedom to assemble. Because we have the right to protest. Because the First Amendment protects our voice. You need to know that the governor is going to make that address, and you need to let every single person that you know to listen in, tune in, and then you need to contact your lawmakers to tell them what you agree with and what you don't, because his message is going to shape the ideas that happen in the Capitol. If you have good lawmakers, you go to their offices and you pat them on the back and you tell them to fight like hell and keep doing what they're doing. Because we're not here to demonize all politicians. Some politicians even stood here the entire time we've been here, and they're good people and they're doing good work. But let's be honest. There is a majority, folks, in here who have not done right by our public schools, and we all know it. And so it is your job to go to their offices at home. That is where the power is. If you only come up here for this rally and you forget about everything you've heard, everything you've said, and everything you felt, then shame on us. We have to draw the line in the sand by doing the work at home. Your bus captains, your stewards, your union presidents, your community activists are going to give you a series of activities to do, not only back at home, but on the way home. Make sure we use the power of social media. Make sure you use the power of hashtags. Make sure you use the power of getting this information out to somebody. If you don't go home and tell 10 people what you saw and what you heard and what's at stake, then shame on us. We can do better. And so that is your homework. We're going to give everybody here a text message when you get back on your buses, on the way home. You should start getting those text messages with a series of activities. We have 60 days to make change. Now, they started their work today. They're going to continue that work tomorrow, which is the first official day of the legislative session. After 60 days, we're going to either be in a better position or a worse position. Will you want to be in a better position?
Yeah!
You want more money in your schools?
Yeah!
You want more money in your community?
Yeah!
You want more money in your pockets?
Yes!
Then we've got to get to work. That means each and every one of you have got to take this energy. You've got to harness the real power of who we are. That means you've got to go back home, not only be a union activist, but be a union voice in your community. That means you've got to speak truth to power in your church, in your civic and social organizations. You've got to talk to your fraternities and sororities. You've got to go down to the local club and to the business and tell people about what's going on. And you certainly got to tell lawmakers, if you go after my job, I most certainly will go after yours. We know how to vote. We know how to vote. We've got to vote right. We've got to vote in a correct manner. We cannot vote against our own self-interest. We can't vote for party affiliations. We can't vote because you're Republican and Democrat. You got to vote your household and what's in your pocket and your profession and the kids that you care about. And we've got to stop these divisive tactics all over the place. Listen, let me tell you something. And I'm just talking right now. But I want to make sure that you understand that there's power, strength, and unity. Anything that we've ever done in this country that has moved this country forward has come because people got together with the same frame of mind, with the same action, and they did things together. We've got to do it together. So, I want to thank all of our guests that were here. I want to thank all of the out-of-town folks that came to speak truth to power. They helped to bolster our presence nationwide. Know that you have been on MSNBC, you've been on CNN, you've been on Fox, you've been on CBS, you've been on NBC, you've been on ABC. And I know there's a big football game tonight. It's not a Florida school, so we really don't care. But I will tell you this, the #1 story in America is the Florida teachers and educational staff professionals that came up to speak truth to power. That is, for the last 48 hours, that has been the #1 trending story in America. We've got work to do. Everybody repeat after me. We've got work to do.
We got work to do.
We've got work to do.
We got work to do.
We've got work to do.
We've got work to do.
And if we want change,
If we want change,
we've got to work.
we got to work.
If we want change,
If we want change,
we've got to work.
we got to work.
If we want change,
If we want change,
we've got to work.
we got to work.
Fund our future.
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 Give yourselves a big round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, as you travel back home, get 3 things that you're going to do personally to advance this cause. And I'm going to leave you with this. Teaching was never meant to put you in the penthouse, but it certainly shouldn't put you in the poorhouse. I'm going to ask that you all pray for me, pray for our team, pray for our schools, Pray for strength. Pray that I don't say anything really ridiculous to these folks in here while you're gone. Because we have been called to a higher calling. We're not preachers, we are teachers, but we are called to do the same work. And that's take care of God's children. And there is no child under any zip code of a lesser God. And so I believe in you. I know that you believe in our children. This has been an important day. It's one cog in the wheel of activism. Not only join this union, get others to join this union and let them know that the fight is on in Tallahassee for our public schools, for our teachers, for our custodians, for our bus drivers, for our secretaries, for our colleges, for our universities, and for anybody who loves our schools. Let's give them one big old Florida yay in the back. You can do better than that.
Yeah!
They can't hear you. They can't hear you. Come on, come on. To all my colleagues, to all my brothers and sisters, God bless you on your journey back home. We will be working like heck to make this happen. 60 days to fund our future. Make sure, I'm gonna do you all like you do your class. Pick up the trash when you leave. This is the State House, okay? If you've never been in the Capitol, we ask that you please go in, but go in respectfully. Make sure that you go in respectfully because that is who we are. If you're gonna go